Welcome, Exiles, to the Buff Nerf Index. A little bit of a graph I made when I went crazy this morning and mapped out the kill times of pretty much every League Start video I could find on YouTube and on Twitch. And basically, what I did is I looked at the first phase of Doriani to try to compare some of these builds. There's been a lot of talk of is this build OP or is that build OP? Blah, 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 blah. I just went through and I mapped out some data points. Of course, you'll notice at the bottom, this is the kill time in seconds. This is not 100% exact. I tried to map it out roughly how much it is, but I probably, I could be off a few hundred milliseconds here and there type of idea, but this is roughly where they'd fall. Along with the left side is hours of progression, just to say, hey, for example, Pox, yeah, he might have taken 6 hours to get to that boss, but he was spending time doing the league mechanic, for learning like the Val Temple. He was doing extra stuff. His character was probably geared a bit better. Therefore, maybe it showcases he did a pretty fast kill time, but his gear was probably much better, arguably, than the person who played for 2 hours. Another thing to consider is the people that are playing 2.5 to 2 hours, these are speedrunners. This is Angormus. This is Guy That Dies. They are some of the best players in the game, and they're not going to choose a skill that's bad. Put it this way, if Angormus grabbed Ice Nova, there's no way in hell he's doing a 230 Doriani, if you know what I'm saying. They pick the most powerful skills that are powerful early on, and that's a part of the combination that goes into them being able to get to this fight that fast. Now, I have mapped out some of the kill times here. Basically, the fastest kill times being around 5 seconds, and some of the really fast kill times being 10 seconds, and some of the more chill, reasonable kill times being 15 seconds, 20 seconds. And then if we're talking most skills that just are mid slash not very good, they'd find themselves somewhere beyond this point. I.e., a lot of skills no one bothered to make a video of their campaign time because it probably looks so miserable, they don't want to share it with the public. You understand what I'm saying here, right? Moral of the story is, let's get into some of these kill times so I can show you some of the highlights of the unethical things. Most unethical on my list, which I listed these from least amount of unethical or most ethical on the left of the bar to least ethical, I have Infernal Legion. I agree wholeheartedly with Jungron. This skill needs to get nuked from orbit. It's a little bit stupid to have a Spectre with 40,000 HP, have a support gem that says, I do damage based on your HP, and then have skills that have numbers like, for example, Essence Drain at this point. I don't know what it does, 100, 200 DPS per second at this point. It's not even remotely comparable in the same ballpark. It's a little bit silly. He has a skill where he just needed to abduct the specific Spectre and then weapon swap to ignore the downside of Infernal Legion. No big deal. This 100%, unless GGG is sleeping on the job, is going to get nuked from orbit type of thing. It's going to get shot. Next up on the unethical list, believe it or not, to no one's surprise, bows. I know Fubgun likes to say bows aren't unethical, but take a look at the evidence, people. He comes over here, he shoots 3 times, the boss is frozen, presses barrage, holds a button, shoots the boss is dead, no skill required, just guaranteed one shot every single boss in the campaign the moment you have that combination of skill gems. If anyone can argue this is ethical amounts of damage for the campaign run where you get to ignore literally every boss mechanic in the game because you one-shot it, like, be my guest, but let's be honest here. This thing sounds and looks pretty unethical. Some other highlights here I'll go ahead and showcase. Grenades. Fight just started. Roars for rage. That's pretty nifty little trick. A few people were doing that for getting rage early on, is using the bear roar. Obviously, grenade, you pre-fire a few grenades and you insta-wipe the HP within a few seconds. Not too hard. Another one here, shield wall. Angormus basically instantly stuns Doriani. Look how fast he stuns Doriani. Doriani's knocked down. He finishes DPSing him. Kill time, a little bit under 10 seconds. But there are skills here that clearly are a cut above the rest. So what I am proposing here, and you guys can tell me what you think of this, but I'm thinking underneath this line of kill time versus play time, we just take these things and nuke them from orbit. You know what I'm saying? Like, do these builds really deserve to be that good? I'm not saying it's jealousy. I'm not saying it's envy. I'm saying it's even the playing field. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of this is unfair, okay? Do they deserve to have that much damage? I don't think so. I think we take them down a peg. And then over here on this side of the line, we have skills that are just like, they're horrendous damage. Like, if you have played a bad skill in the campaign, you know full well there is a large difference between a skill that is good in the campaign and a skill that is bad, where on one end the bad skill is like an unplayable, unfun experience, and the good skill is you're just cruising and you're playing the game on baby mode, it feels like, in comparison, in terms of how many boss fights and like mechanics you're able to skip and not have to deal with if you've played a bad build and you've played a good build. Mainly talking about the skill, that's the main differentiating factor. There's a little bit that goes in the skill tree, but let's be honest, most of the builds during the campaign at this point are just grabbing the nearest damage nodes. There's not too much variety in, let's quote unquote, tech there. It's mostly just grabbing the nearest damage nodes, and some skills, their baseline damage is just that bad. Next up, I would like to put this zone here, and I'd call it the ethically good zone. You know, like, it's fairly reasonably good, but it's an ethical way. Like, it's not too good. You know what I'm saying? So, what are your thoughts? This is my buff nerf index. I came up just mapping some of these builds out. I'll go ahead and put links to each of these kill times or just each of these VODs in the video if you're curious about the builds I looked at and how they did in various campaign runs. It's a nice little, I think, compendium of people's runs through doing these boss fights. Sorry. But that is that. I don't know why I took the time to do this. I just thought it was something I was interested in because I was curious, because a lot of people were saying this build's OP or that's build OP, and I just wanted to see how the builds performed in terms of time to get to that Doriani fight and how good they were at that point of campaign progression, because there is a pretty large difference between the good skills and the bad skills in this game. I feel like the peaks are too high and the valleys are way too low, if you know what I mean. Like, some builds, they're just horrendous and you will be throwing your head against the wall trying to get it to be somewhat viable through the campaign, whereas other things, it's a walk in the park. No comparison really in terms of difficulty when one is easy mode and one is just not. All in all, hope you guys enjoyed this overlook at some of the league start options for the .5 patch. As always, thanks for watching, Exiles. Take care and peace out. Have a good one.